solving a quadratic equation we are going to solve the quadratic equation by method number 1, which is the factorization method in an advanced level. So here there are of two methods of solving a quadratic equation, which is in the form of, or the gen form of a quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. There are of two methods, that is first one is of the factorization method, the second is of solving a quadratic equation by using the formula. Then now, so we are performing the method number 1 of solving a quadratic equation. So first of all, let us discuss about the quadratic equation. So here QE indicates the quadratic equation. So here an equation which is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, whereas a is not equals to 0 and whereas b comma c are belonging to real numbers. So here a is the coefficient of x square and b is the coefficient of x and c is a real constant. So whereas b and c are the real numbers and a should not be equals to 0, in which the variable is of x. So here an equation which is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0 is known as a quadratic equation. So here in ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, which is the gen form, that is the general form of quadratic equation. QE indicates the quadratic equation. Say in this particular quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So here coefficient of x square, the first term is of x square, the second term is of bx, the third term is of c. The coefficient of the first term, that is first term's variable, that is x square, is of a. Similarly, the coefficient of x is of b. Coefficient of x is equals to b, whereas the real constant is the third term in it. So in the third term of the ax square plus bx plus c, so here c is the real constant. Then latter, say in which the variable in ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, the variable is of x. So in the method number 1, so we are performing the method number 1. So this method number 1 is of the factorization method. So here under factorization method, we are going to perform one illustration in order to solve a quadratic equation, or in other words, so we have to find out the variables values. Since the variable is of x, that is of second degree quadratic equation, it has two roots, two values or two solutions. So here in the first method, that is the factorization method, so we are going to perform the first illustration, that is example number 1. So in this example number 1, we are going to solve the quadratic equation in the form, or in other words, for what values of x is 3 into f of x is equals to 4 into g of x, whereas f of x is given by means of 3x square minus 2x plus 1, and g of x is given by means of 2x square minus 3 by 2. There are of two functions, two algebraic expressions, or two quadratic expressions, or the quadratic polynomials. The first one, f of x, is of 3x square minus 2x plus 1. The second quadratic polynomial is of 2x square minus 3 by 2. But the condition which is given for us is of 3 into f of x is equals to 4 into g of x. When we substitute f of x and as well as the g of x in these places, that is LHS and as well as the RHS, we will be getting a quadratic equation which is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. Then now later I say we have to solve for x by means of the method called the factorization method. Then now solution starts now.